The transition. 2012. Choosing to grab a pair of running shoes over a swimsuit. Today is Tuesday, 28 April 2026, and I'm Tanis Sheeher of Seattle. And how this works these days is I go to grab a pair of running shoes and the swimsuit's not even there. I don't even have a swimsuit to show you. So fast forward over 13.00 years and the swimming is non-existent anymore in my routine. Okay. So here I, Tanis Sheeher of Seattle, talk through what my cognitive functioning / decision making was like when I permanently transitioned sports / activities from swimming to middle distance running in 2012, specifically focusing on what it was like choosing to grab a pair of running shoes over a swimsuit from my closet. So it was a year thing, and I started early in the year, and it was one that I would say by about maybe mid-year to August in 2012, I had normalized so much that I no longer chose the swimsuit kind of period. And there was a huge reduction, so I had competed in swimming for over 10.00 years. I started running it with myself as coach in January 2006, and I competed in track and field one season, spring 2007 for my high school, but that was all the competition. And it was really about the activity that I was choosing and using it for health and wellness in my life. And so, you know, there'd be a swimsuit hanging up or with kind of in the exercise area, and there'd be a pair of shoes. And so, you know, when I started my day, I'd open my closet door, and there'd be both things, and I might not be looking at it, but it's kind of like there was like a visual priming as to like which would I like to do today, or which would I like to do 2 days from now. And so I'd say since swimming was so part of the routine, there was a little bit of like slowly, so there was kind of like well, at the time, do I have an impulse to do one or the other? Do I do both in a day and kind of feel what they're like in a day frame? Test that out. Which do I actually like more? Do both. But then kind of like taking, if a day I normally use for one activity, being like looking at it and being like, do I want to go for a longer run on Sunday? Do I pick up my shoes and look at them and be like, how are they doing? Do I want to wear these for an hour and pound the pavement? You know, and be like, do I want to? And then somehow I ended up there. And I think, so that was, it was a multi-scale decision making, and then also being like, well, which do I want to keep doing? I kind of feel like well, I feel like more like an adult choosing the running shoes. I get sweatier. I don't have to be horizontal. I think there's a little bit of pride in choosing a difficult activity, and I'm like, running satisfies that. Swimming is horizontal in a pool. Like, I think that actually did factor in. I was like, especially if I was writing stuff, handwriting stuff, or reading stuff for school, sometimes I would lie down in bed. I'm like, swimming, I don't need to swim when I'm already horizontal, as in lying down in bed or sitting in bed and working on schoolwork. So this is a much healthier activity in the terms of like posturing, and my balance has improved so much like in the past few years. But that actually did factor in, was like, whether I want it or not, I do need to be able to be vertical. I am a human being. So there was a little bit of like pride in choosing an actually difficult activity. I actually get to feel my own weight in the shoe. I get to see how my weight wears down on a pair of shoes. That kind of stuff is a current training pair. I do have on my radar a new pair. They're starting to have wear on the inside, the toes on the top, and then the soles. But yeah, so there was multiple scales, and then there was also like what I wear, my own body, and like physiological advantages I might get. I started running without music, and towards the beginning, and something that did factor in as well was like, if I went to a gym and the pool played music, there was music. And when I started running, I didn't have music. And when I started swimming, there was like may or may not have been music during swim practice kind of thing. And then I started high school swimming, and they had they'd play music sometimes during practice, and it was so annoying. I was like, I started running. Why is running the only place I can get peace and quiet? And so something that I was thinking about back in 2012 was, and I say, I would choose the running shoes now, and there is no swimsuit. Part of that is the music. I was like, I can choose to run to music, and I can remove the music, and the natural elements like rain can remove the music for me, so to speak. In swimming, because it's like a confined space, if music is played, there's not really escaping it. Every time that, you know, a head is turned to breathe, or what comes up to breathe, or whatever, and there's like being pounded by music, and I was just like, running. Right. So even if there's music somewhere along the route, like I can run past it, and I'm past it. So in that sense, music actually did factor into the long-term vision of my choosing running for myself, of I can get rid of the music, and I did. And so I chose the submissive role of the road runner. Has been a great pick for myself, and listening to authority as well, the vehicles. Why? In 2025, I ran with a black Ferrari on the roads, but was it the roads, and was I running with it? And then this year, 2026, I ran with a Coyote on the roads. A legacy in 2023, removal of the elliptical entirely from my routine. So like, my diversity of running training has become far more streamlined, right? Less clunky. If a person does one activity, it should be that one activity, not this or other stuff. So I removed the elliptical entirely. And then a legacy 2024 was a modification to minimizing the stationary bicycle in my routine, and removal of music from my training routine. So back to how I started. So yeah, running, and more running, and less of other types of high intensity training has been the theme for the past few years. So and not like less volume, just less variety. And my running has improved so much. My balance has improved. It's just been like an overhaul on my physiological prowess, so to speak. So that's the transition 2012, choosing to grab a pair of running shoes over a swimsuit.